Oh dear. I know I heard of others having some issues with the holidays as well. Glad to hear that you're on the mend at this point, and in the meantime, greetings everybody and welcome to Daemonum, that shining beacon of light in the heart of the underworld and city to free demons. And welcome to another episode of the stream here in Daemonum Arena. Good evening. You know, I've kind of realized that, like, because of my own state dialect, I roll through that introduction really quickly. And I'm fairly certain that, like, it's mostly understandable. Though, mostly. I do understand that, like, when I'm saying it, I'm not hitting all the letters, but I'm hitting the sounds of the letters. Bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast. I'm going to have to remember that because that's going to come in handy at some point in my life. But, yeah, I certainly hope that, like going over the introduction again, I know, like, I just kind of roll through the back half of it. And thank you for joining me again here in Daemonum Arena. So, I don't know, just one of those things that hit my brain as I was starting up tonight. And it's going to be a weird night in general, folks, because, well, yeah. Hi, Black Queen. Welcome on in. Hope the evening finds you well. I am not an artist. That much I can say. Never have I ever done well enough, in my opinion, on an art piece to be, like, lauded as an artist primarily. So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, I've made things that have at least gotten me passing grades in an art course. I've definitely gotten a couple of comments on probably, like, I think one of my more evocative pieces of my Art 101 days in college was a piece of word art that honestly probably should have been more of an indicator that I needed therapy than most people caught on. But hey, I'm in therapy now, so that's that. Either way, I'm going to be trying 3D modeling. I feel like I'm doing the art equivalent of standing at the edge of the dock and launching myself about 50 miles into the ocean.
And I'm here for terrible ideas.
I mean, that's a day ending in Y, isn't it?
Yeah.
I also have to make sure that everything is in order here, folks, because, like, there was some weirdness when I was setting up stream. I am going to be, like, fiddling around, not really knowing what I'm doing. So I will say, if any of you happen to know anything about Blender, by all means, feel free to give me a crash course, because, well, I have almost negative amounts of knowledge in this program. So the most you're going to be watching me doing all night is noodling around and figuring out what does what, provided alongside some probably terrifying ideas from Matt. And with that, let's get to...
Look, we've all seen Monster Factory.
I mean, yeah, this is true. Let's get over here and see and make sure that everything is working as intended. Aha, we have music.
You have a cube.
Cube. All hail the cube. I mean, that's par for the course. So just let me know, folks. Is the music too loud? Should I turn it down? As far as I can see, it's at least lower than me and my Discord audio. But I don't want to, like, drown things out. And as far as I know, this is no copyright lo-fi music. But, you know, I am of the mind that people lie frequently, so we'll see if I get DMCA struck.
It doesn't help that the automatic stuff is not the most
intelligent.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna train this AI on things that are copyrightable. Yeah, sure, honey. Sure, Jan. All right, so Y is that way, X is this way, Z is this way. That always bugs me because typically Y is meant to be up, but that's in 2D
No,
space.
You're just used to Minecraft.
That too, because
That Minecraft actually does it wrong.
yeah, Minecraft does do it wrong. Still fucks with my head though.
Yeah, Z is traditionally supposed to be up down.
But then, you know, when you get into 2D gaming, it is actually XY.
Well, yeah, that's because you're on a 2D plane.
Right. If you wanted to standardize it across all the forms of gaming, then you would want XZ. But then that doesn't, like, corroborate a typical two-dimensional plane, which is XY based in math, and fuck.
And it doesn't roll off the tongue so well.
Well, I mean, part of the reason for that is that we're filthy colonial Americans that don't say Z typically. Why did you just let me have that one? All right, so in the meantime, I put you at like 1.5. I have no clue what you mean, but I miss playing this with friends on Final Fantasy 14. I haven't played 14 in a long time. I've been having this conversation with friends that have been trying to get me into other MMOs, and in particular those with like subscription models. Like, unfortunately for me at least, when it comes to subscription model games, it turns into a job instead of a game. And then I'm not really enjoying myself, because I had to make sure that I'm getting my money's worth out of the subscription, because I was raised in a family that loved to squeeze every last penny out of what they were buying. It's a big lull right now in 14. Have they been coming up with much new lately?
They're between expansions.
That would explain. That would certainly explain a part of it.
Because Endwalker was big.
Eek. So if I make the scale X like 0.45?
Hey, you made your cube a rectangle.
I made my cube a flat plane. New expansions coming out in summer. Oh, well, we got that going at least. Let's see. I don't know how direct this sort of conversion is. Huh. Okay. That's interesting. Never really thought about that before. So, I mean, if you take that sort of statistic in mind, maths, indeed, that's interesting. It seems like instead of this, I'd actually want something like that, which means that my Y is actually like drastically too wide. It seems like this would be the dimensions I'd want to work in for an object in reality that I was trying to make out of this. And this is probably too thick as well.
You just gotta figure out how the scale's actually working.
What is it that I want to make? So I'm probably being very ambitious. The idea is that my goal is a sword.
You can do that with mostly triangles.
Yeah, you can do it mostly triangles.
I'm just thinking, do it the easy way. That said,
I mean,
it may not be a bad idea to start with some basic geometric shapes.
oh, yes. But like, I'm also working on the concept of this being sculpting, as in you have a block of material and you cut the object out of that block of material. And this would effectively kind of be the dimensions of a sword plus extra material. Because apparently a typical longsword is about somewhere between 90 and 107 centimeters on the blade. So I have effectively 2 meters tall of material. So I actually have a fair bit of extra give in here. Like, heck, I could actually probably cut this down even more. But congratulations, I've made a plank.
Because you may end up with something closer to a greatsword if you use this whole length.
Right.
An absurdly sized one.
So bump that down to 1.65. I'm trying to think about like roughly what's the size of a hilt. A hilt and crossguard. It's like, well, typically about the width of a hand. Plus the pommel at the bottom, crossguard near the top of the hand. So I mean, I'm a terrible judge of distances, and I have my hand in front of my microphone. Whoops. It's like the one thing about correspondence sphere that I actually don't have. I cannot judge distances worth a fuck. I can judge connections between things really easily, but like distances, honestly, heck, I think 1.35 would be enough height for this sort of thing. Of course, now the next question is, how the hell do I sculpt? So I have a lump.
See, my mind immediately goes, aha, vertices.
Yeah, but where are the vertices? Because I mean, I know the obvious ones. You know, here, 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 here.
I think those are your vertices. Yes.
I think you need planes. I mean, there's technically 6 of them right in front of me. There's 6 planes, 8 vertices.
What are those tools you have on the left and top of your screen?
Well, we've got cursor. Set the cursor location, drag to transform. I'm not sure what
That's
the
probably your
cursor.
sculpting tool.
I'm not sure what the cursor is.
Well, click it and find out.
I don't see it doing anything, Captain.
Try clicking on something.
And it now appears to be outside of my block.
The wonders working in 3D space.
The lid, stop! Oh, now it's outside the cube. What if I click on that dot?
Press right click to.
Good. Shade smooth, shade auto smooth, shade flat, convert to. Oh dear. It's that origin. What have you done to me? Duplicate object.
Giving you a bad idea.
Notably. Duplicate linked. Rename active object. Predefined panel mirror. Huh. I don't think that actually did anything we're going to undo because I'm paranoid. I think I need more planes. I mean, yeah. Logic would denote. I need more planes in, like, less of the presently defined area. Otherwise, we have move, we have rotate, we have scale, we have our translations.
I was gonna say, if your standard translation.
Annotate, measure, and add cube.
Those seem quite useful,
On my
actually.
bottom and top bar. Uh-oh. Cube. Add cube, add cone, add cylinder, add UV sphere, add icosphere. Ico, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be guiding a princess to safety. So, oop. Oh dear. My rectangle now has a protrusion.
I hear they make a cream for that.
Yeah, they make a host of products for that. So, like, that leads to an interesting situation.
Black Queen, you hit F11, you went into full screen mode. Hit F11 again.
Probably. So what if instead of this, I did something like this. Scale the X down to like 0.15. Y'all, I think he's cooking with petrol. Oh, Dragon on Game.
Hello.
I think you've been hanging out with your British friends for a bit, huh?
A little bit. Dragon on Game, thank you for that tier 1 for 30 months. Enjoy the ad-free viewing and emotes, and welcome back. Hunter, enjoy your time. And yes, today is art. I'm doing Blender. I'm probably going to make many an artist cringe because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Suffice to say, oh god. I need to get used to, like, moving my viewpoint. Never used Blender myself. Likewise. So we're both in the same boat there. I do wish there was more of a contrast.
You
Is
can
there a
probably
way?
make that happen.
Yeah, like I wish there was more contrast so I could see corners better. Because, like, as you can see when I'm moving the camera, there's eventually just kind of comes a point where that line just vanishes. I have no fucking clue where that corner is. Because, like, I have to get the right type of shadow to keep the line in place. So, like, if I wanted to, what's this way to turn on the wireframe? I don't know. This is certainly one of those times where, like, I am perfectly fine with having backseating. Like, if you wind up looking things up and finding answers, by all means, let me know. But I'm not gonna, like, force people to look up answers for me.
I know nothing.
I know nothing. Nothing. You know, it occurs to me that there might actually be something useful I can do. That said, now I have that small, tiny little divot that, like, isn't extruded on this side, and it's gonna bug me.
Always extrude your divots, folks.
Indeed. Make sure those divots are extruded. It seems like no matter what I do, it's going to be a problem. It's just how sizable.
How sizable your divots?
Yes, sizable my divots is. Viewport overlays top right corner. Viewport overlays. Viewport shading? Whoop. That's not right. Not that far right. Fair. Aha. Well, that's more high contrast. Now, I wonder what happens if I mirror... I want to mirror along Y, I think. Nope, that didn't do what I thought it was going to do. I was hoping that it would, like, mirror the change across, but there's got to be a way to do that, too.
So I looked away from it. What did it do when you mirrored it?
Nothing.
Oh, I think you have to have that selected and then extrude, maybe. And then it'll
This is
mirror
different.
along that
It is
edge.
different. So, hello, Zavran. Welcome on in. Hope the evening finds you well. Left control toggles Snapple dragging. Left alt toggles dragging from the center. Left shift toggles fixed aspect. Snapple dragging, I could use that. That would have been useful to do. In Miley, you have to have the object mirrored across an axis. Hi, Bob. You have to...
I wouldn't be surprised in Blender if the mirroring was a toggle, because rather than a
command.
click button.
I mean, I feel like it would probably be something akin to like a button combination.
Well, you found the toggle for it, didn't you?
Not that I'm aware of. ZBrush is a mirror toggle. Depth surface. Cursor plane. Cursor view. Orientation surface. Snap to geometry. Snap to default. Ellipses. It's all about learning ultimately, and I appreciate you doing Google dives for me there, Dragon. A lurk for, but yeah, I kind of figured. Enjoy the lurk and have a nice night, Black Queen. This is definitely going to be one of those streams where things are likely to be more about just vibing.
I know, that's why I'm here.
Yep. Huh. Toggle X-ray. Overlays. Gizmos. Gizmos, widgets, and Who's'em what's its.
All of which I'm sure will be useful.
At some point. Nothing about a toggle, huh? Interesting. I thought there would be a mirror toggle. Think about mirroring in object mode and mirroring in edit mode. I'm presently in object mode. Yeah, I probably should just have that. Thank you. Shortcut Control M. The mirror tool mirrors a selection across a selected axis.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it seems like that would be a thing for edit mode. I still have add cube in edit mode. That is a fair point. Oh. Wait a minute then. Rip region? Rip. Edge slides.
The mirroring selection makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Loop cut, bevel, inset, extrude. Interesting.
It seems like it's mostly a set of standard tools.
Yeah. Smooth. Like my brain.
Like, it probably wouldn't be entirely out of the question for your sword plan to extrude cube sword
Basically, yeah.
and then pare down the vertices.
Right. So, like, Control M supposedly sets up mirroring, but now something's a little weird. Ah, I changed my my display.
Probably the axis you're picking. Yeah. You
Yeah.
just picked your can pick your axis. See how that highlights?
Yep. Then if I extrude, but first I need to be able to select an area.
Right. Is there a selection tool? Probably
There's a
at the top.
selection box, but what is that? Here's the challenge. What does that do for me?
If it's anything like paint or other image editing tools.
That's not what I was expecting. Yeah, no.
It lets you select a box.
Let you select the box on the 2D plane that is your screen, not the face of the object you're working with, which is kind of what I need. Loop cut, knife. Should be a way to select the face. I, for the life of me, have no idea what cursor is, because it's just kind of floating out there in space now, kind of doing its own thing.
Meanwhile, I'm trying poor decisions.
I mean, so am I. Hey, Duke, welcome on in. Hope the Duke finds you well.
I mean, you're choosing to learn a skill. I'm choosing to play a difficult level in a video game. There's a difference.
Suppose. Selection modes, X-ray, select menu. Known issues. Select sharp edges, select similar. Selection modes. 3D viewport header, select mode. You're in for pain. You're in for pain if you're expecting competent art tonight, Duke. I am learning this for the first time. Meshes? You know, one should always clean up their meshes. Introduction to mesh.
Maybe you should find an introduction to Blender.
Maybe I should find an introduction to introductions, considering.
Legitimately, though, some sort of intro to Blender would probably give you the.
I'm sure it would, but it would also be for everybody to hear, because
True.
I don't want to, spend a stream of everybody just listening to Blender tutorials.
Oh God, videos? No, why? I meant text. Video tutorials.
People don't do text tutorials anymore. This isn't the early aughts.
Yes, but I don't want to watch your fucking
Yeah, with the time,
video
old man.
I don't want to watch your fucking video to find out what I need to know.
Yeah, with the times, old man. It's only video tutorials now.
Yes, and I hate it.
Get off my lawn. I'm supposed to be the old one here. Jesus Christ.
Look, do you know how often I have to look up obscure button combinations for zebra printers for work? And I'm just sitting here, no, give me the documentation. I don't want a video.
So what you're saying is printers have boomerized you. I will not comment on this.
What two buttons to hold down for how many blinks, okay? It's gonna be a fucking table.
As I'm sitting here getting myself further in trouble. Oh, let's see. Now that I've done that. there are different selections that are not a part of the tool set. So that's a thing. Interesting. I'll say one thing, skill issue on Matt's part. Somebody else is pulling aggro at this point.
Skill issue my ass. I don't want to scroll through a damn video.
I mean, fair. We're selecting an edge for text or edge selection mode. Vertex. My God, I might be learning. Skill issue in regards to Google searching. There are always text tutorials out there.
No, like legitimately, there is not actually a way to get the text for these things. The official documentation is a video.
Yikes. So I have those two vertices selected. Then I can also select that one. And the one down here at the bottom. And in theory, I will have selected an entire face, correct? Ta-da. My God, he's learning. Everybody run.
Everybody duck!
Learning. Praise science. So here's the funny part, though. If I do that on the other side, then technically I'm just selecting the entire object because I'm selecting all 8 vertices. I start somewhere. Exactly. So like if I just, you know, shift click drag and get these other 4 vertices in there, then I'm just selecting the entire object. One would wager.
One would hope.
But yeah, everything's glowing orange. So all's right with the world, God's in his heaven.
You've learned how to select.
And selecting is half the bat weight. I'm going to insert edge loops where you want to extrude. Select the faces you want to extrude, and it should mirror. Perhaps. If I, in turn, select all these to select a face, select on both sides, extrude, and drag out. Oops.
Why did I do all this the hard way? I had a shortcut set up.
I'm going to select. I say then going to select, and then the next option should be edge loop. But I don't see edge loop in the select menu, unless it's in the wrong select menu, which
It's under a drop down.
yeah. What am I doing? I'm attempting to learn 3D modeling by noodling around and having people join me on this misadventure. I am in edit mode presently. I suppose this is a layout tab. Yeah, layout tab at the top. It says view, select, add mesh, vertex, edge.
You need to be in one of the other tabs.
Maybe, but edit mode, mesh, menu, select, edge loop.
You have to be in modeling rather than layout.
I mean, it says. It doesn't say actually. It says
and you have
mode
sculpting
menu.
mode even, too. Would the sculpting mode help you? Probably not yet, because you need to get the basic shape down.
Right. Vertex. Wait. Sculpting sounds like clay sculpting, not modeling. Effectively, yeah. The only experience I have is suspensive creation kit for Skyrim. To a degree. I would actually make it more akin to stone sculpting than clay sculpting. Which is ironic considering the thing I would be making is technically made of metal, which is processed rock. Auto merge vertices. Options. Select random. Yeah, sure. Looks similar.
I mean, it's good that they give you the option.
Select loops, edge loops. So they've changed, but they haven't changed their documentation.
Oh, that's just normal.
Yeah. Of course it is. I'm a programmer. I know this shit. Oh, Blender is free. Exactly. Hey, Mandy, welcome on in. Hope the evening finds you well. Okay, so, but then here's the thing. If I do this... Nope, that didn't change. That didn't change a blessed thing. Cool. Select loops, edge loops. Welcome back. Nah. Certain edge loop, I know I need to be in object selection mode, not edges, faces. Mode, extend existing selection, subtract existing selection, invert existing selection, which would just, in theory, flip the selection to the other side. Trying to get an old tablet to watch in the hobby room. Nah, cool. Just a yeah, I have just a face selected. So you say need to be in object selection mode. I mean, there's object mode, but that does not net me much. What are we trying to do? Understand basic core concepts, primarily. So welcome on in. Hope the evening finds you well.
Specifically, he's trying to figure out how to take a selection, extrude it, and mirror it.
Well, this doesn't have the selections that I'm expecting to see. Yeah, I don't have an edge loop to select in here. Select mirror, but that's... Surface project, orientation view. Yeah, I figured I needed at least something in here while I was floundering for long periods of time. Let's see, annotate, measure, which, okay. Cool. Cool, it's measuring tape. That actually works too.
I should hope it would work.
Well, not me at present, because I'm not smoothing anything. Yet. Yeah, metal is rather smooth. Back to edit mode. This is where they're telling me I should be able to do this. Ooh. Offset edge loop cut. That's cool. You realize, of course, I'm still going to run with it, Severin. I've selected a face. try the loop cut? It makes a box around the middle of the block. Oh. Interesting. So then if I just click this, I now have another set of vertices. That's interesting. Another direction you could take is, can you just subdivide it? Loop cuts are great because you can move it up and down. Cam's in the way. What are the options you're blocking? A bunch of like properties junk. It's like custom properties, line art, viewport display, visibility, motion paths, interfacing or instancing, collections, relations.
We're studying arcane and ancient art here.
I mean, not necessarily ancient. Well, I suppose if you include the hammer and chisel brethren of yesteryear. So I'm not sure that they talked much about vertices in hammer and chisel sculpting. So much as
might talk about planes.
Yeah, so much as they might talk about planes and, you know, seeing what you want in the material. You do the edge loop again. Select edge loops. I mean, it doesn't really do anything. It just, I click and then nothing happens. So, cut it again. Cut it again, Ralph. What? Symmetry. I mean, I feel like this is important for a part of the equation. But I don't think it's getting me what I need. When you select those loops, I'm not sure what loops I'm meant to be seeing to select. Select a loop of connected edges by connection
There's your
type.
edge loop selector.
I mean, yeah, but it doesn't do anything. Select a loop of connected edges by connection type. Right, but like the only thing that I had that's like select edge loops is in the select menu. So like, I don't know. Like I can select vertices. That's interesting. I can hold the right mouse button. That's what happens when I do. Ooh, extrude vertices. Hello. But that's probably going to be a little different than I'm expecting. We're learning together. Oh Lord. This looks dangerous. What's this going to do?
Oh, see what happens.
It just makes dots out in space. Cool.
Hey, worst case, you can hit Control Z, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to in that case. Try to extrude volume, you want to be in face mode. Oh, that's not there. Extrude faces. Whoa. Well, that's interesting. Not precisely what I'm looking for based on this selection, but
It's head in the right direction.
yeah. What are those buttons next to that? In the top left, to the right of the edit mode button, there's selection. In the top left, to the right of the edit mode button, there is select mode, vertex select, edge select, face select. So edge select. Aha. That lets me select the lines themselves, not the points that they point to. Yep, vertex edge face. So this would then be the selection of, well, interesting. Because I'm not selecting the corner right now. It still would be that face and that face that are presently selected. And if I extrude edges, interesting. So it at least does that. But
if I
were to select that corner, would it then be extruding a solid top? I wonder. Wouldn't extrude anything other than faces. But then if I go in this direction, it starts extruding solid top face too. Gets messy really fast. Yeah, I could certainly see the. So what happens if I do select that edge and then extrude edges again? Aha! I think I was right, and that it seems to extrude the whole shebang. Except, interestingly enough, it doesn't extrude the front face, like the thing pointing to us. At least from what I can see, because down at the bottom it looks like it's saying like there's no like material in that front piece. There's material along the top and either side, but not in the front, facing us, which is interesting. I would surmise that if I also, oh hey, that might be part of the situation here. Selection is actually more than I was thinking it was, which is changing expectations a little, I think. If I add this corner to that selection, once again, extrude edges. Now I've got the bottom. But not the cap of the face. Yeah, it's easier in face mode if you swapped to faces and did it. Swap to faces. Extrude face. Oh, well, wait. That doesn't seem to have done anything because I don't think I have anything selected right now. Aha. So if I extrude this face, then I get the whole. Ooh, you can also anti-extrude. Cool.
I'm sure there's a term for that.
Extrude. I mean, is extrude the opposite of intrude?
In a dictionary sense, yes. In a modeling sense, I don't think so.
Now select the one on the other side. Oops. Oh, I don't have to click and drag and just click. Extrude faces. Whoa, what the? That's not the direction I was expecting. Huh.
That is an interesting.
That's an interesting extrude. Ooh, 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 ooh.
I understand why it exists.
Yeah. That's interesting. I think you have the wrong axis selected. Possibly.
Probably.
Extrude both sides, select both sides, hit extrude, then left click just to set it. Hit S for scale and scale on the axis you want to move along. In this case, S then X, then move your mouse. S X. Extrude SY. Ta-da!
You can give it wings.
Aha! Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. Alright. So now that I have that, I have the ability to make lots and lots of vertices too. Maybe I should go about my business doing that. Doot, 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 doot. Of course, now that I've done this, it's probably like royally messed up elsewhere. Kind of.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of vertices.
Seems like it. I might actually have to do a little bit of fiddling. Insert more edge loops and then move them on a mesh where you want the handle to come out, then you can extrude. Yeah, something went a little bad with the selection situation, I think. Interestingly enough.
Thankfully, unlike when working with, physical objects,
There is in
you
fact
have
a history.
unlimited retries.
This is true, and I could always just start from scratch. Not important for this generally when you're experimenting with extrude. Earlier, you made a lot of overlapping edges and vertices. Kind of see where the lines are darker. Never a bad time for a fresh cube. Yeah. One face, a ton of vertices on one side. Yeah. Yeah. Considering the situation, we're gonna do that. In theory, I should be good to just plonk something down. If I just origin it. Okay. I stand corrected. Interesting how it's suddenly floating on me, but you know. Oh, well. There you go. That said, I don't believe that this cube is up to cube code. It's
But
not a perfect cube, but it is
cube
scaled.
Got a bit wonk.
A little bit of wonk to it.
That is,
There'd be a way to just say, hey, give me a unit cube.
probably new.
Well, yeah, I could just make an entirely new project. Hahaha. Control snap while dragging. Left alt toggles dragging from the center. Left shift toggles fixed aspect. Fixed aspect. Add menu or shift A. Meatball. Or no, metaball. Haha. Preference setting allows you to just make a cube at origin. That'd be nice. Curved surface.
Press button to
Metaball.
receive cube.
Extrude cube. Force field collection instant. Force field. I like that. I like that option. just one of the mesh primitives.
It probably doesn't do what you think it does.
Oh, my eyeballs. So this is cube. This is cube 001. I delete this cube. And it's the cube 001. Could in theory just now rename that because there's no original cube. Provided it lets me rename. There you go. Thanks for the assistance, by the way, folks. I don't mean to ever sound ungrateful because, yeah, I'm very much learning all of this from scratch. It's not at Origin. Now it's at Origin. A big ass program, lots. But yeah, I mean, not to like toot my own horn, but like back in my high school days, I learned most of what I knew in Photoshop by hand too. I didn't like go through a book to learn it. I just kind of grabbed the program and fiddled with it and learned interesting stuff. But, like, I figured
not too bad. Do that with an image ad or with a 3D ad, or you may have a little more difficulty.
Right. And I mean, I'm not expecting, like I said, I'm not expecting to make, you know, the statue of David in my first try. Like, this is literally me learning / being taught by very nice folks in my chat how to do specific things. So let's see, get back to those previous dimensions I had. Scale X was I think like what 0.2, well no, 0.35. Remember correctly, the Y was like 1, no, it wasn't 1, it was like 0.65, and the Z was 1.65, I want to say. If not, well, it is now. And it's going to deal with it. In the meantime, what I could do, because I'm a doofus, I could save. In theory. I am not going to save
S at every opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not going to save in the model folder. Storage. Got a bunch of stuff in here.
As we all know, if you haven't saved 27 times, is it really saved?
Right. In the meantime, untitled.blend. Practice. Save Blender file. There, now I have this stepping off point. Now, in theory, hop back to edit mode, do the thing Julie. Do. Do I want to go for another layer? Or for another cluster of them? I don't think so. On this side, however, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You'd be able to move the loops wherever you need them instead of subdividing to hell and back. I mean, possibly. Kind of like the quadranting though. Looks kind of cool. More faces, more render power, slower program.
No,
this is true.
Problems though.
This is true. Because like, if I use the subdividing as a tool to kind of show the rough shape of the object that's likely to be made here, it's likely going to be just, you know, on one face, we'll say. It's likely to be something like this. Oops. Well, that doesn't quite work, did it? I mean, you know, you effectively get the idea that it's going to be roughly cross-shaped. It's going to be roughly about yay. This is the beginning to rough out the shape and add detail later. And actually, come to think of it, less is more in 3D. Yeah, certainly true. So in this case, maybe I don't even want extrude so much as I want to remove lumps. I kind of want to remove scads of this. Unless I start with something decidedly smaller in the first place and just turn that into... Moving and stitching it back up is harder than extruding. Taking away faces is always more difficult, leaves room for a messy mesh. So 3D modeling is less like actual sculpting and more like adding. So what you could do, make the up and down shape and extrude the cross piece. So effectively make a cross guardless version and then make the cross guard after that. That does in fact sound like an intelligent design. So if instead, I got there eventually. I'm trainable. That's a horrible sentence to state, sorry. Scale X. So I mean, if I really want to go in on this, so if we measure, come to think of it, if we measure, this program is intimidating. Let's make one edge loop, which I suppose in this case would be to like that. Is that the directionality we would want with that edge loop? See if you can move it up and down where you want it. Yes, I can. Yes. Thank you, Principal Skinner. Yes. Then make another. So that would mean to do the loop cut once again. Like so. Move. Oh. And then like so. And that could be the, then like, this, sorry, face selection. This could be one of my faces for crossbar.
Then you can just extrude that out, and then
yeah, select the one on the other side. Shift select. Extrude faces. SY. Ta-da! Dee. Hey, look, I've made Link's sword from Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I have. Well, no, yeah, that is basically the sword from Legend of Zelda. If you will excuse me my Diomedes moment, behold a sword!
Behold a man!
Amen. Indeed. Okay. I mean, I'm getting some basics down, and that's good. And, you know, learning how to really easily make loops and what they are used for there. For details, you can add more edge loops as needed on the cross and scale faces, or edge loops as needed. You can add more edge loops as needed on the cross and scale faces or edge loops as needed. So if I wanted to smooth things out a bit, or if I wanted to drop... Well,
So,
wait, no, I know how to do this because I did it before by accident. Oops.
I was gonna say, if you wanted to put, turn those into triangles, it probably wouldn't be too hard, because you could just put a line down the middle, and then play with it a little.
I jump in voice when I'm getting ill. No, that's perfectly understandable. I thank you for helping me out so much already. By rule, you want all polygons to have 4 vertices, no more, no less. All polygons to have 4 vertices. So if I wanted to say transform this particular aspect of this element a little bit. See how that face has 4 points, everything is nice and clean. Right, so you kind of want to deal with rectangulars because they are effectively 2 triangles. And rectangles are like, you know, more human recognizable and like therefore just easier in general to work with. I remember some of my 3D game design courses, guys. Lord knows. You nailed it. Next program. And now I'm done. Yes, I am now a master of 3D modeling. When the program enters, are more likely to convert to tries. Right, because computers like triangles because they're nice and mathematically crunchy. Humans like squares and rectangles because they're just easier for our brain to work with. But for computer brains, they like triangles because they're the quickest thing to go into. Trigonometry's a bitch. But now, if I am interested, just on the selection that I've got, if I hydrate, can do, especially after making such a breakthrough. Thanks again for the help. Oh, goodness me.
You can now make shapes out of basic squares.
Yes. Instead of using that scale tool, yes, there is a scale tool on the left.
I went to the wrong damn planet.
Ooh. Well, this is kind of sassy.
That looks a little more sword-like.
Right, because it's starting to... Although it pinches the edge it a little bit. Now you're building with primitives. Exactly. Progress, you might even say. So, okay. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing per se, but normal can fix later. Fair. But yeah, you see what I'm working at doing is effectively, you know, making the crossguard act like, hey, you know, that's a different subject of this object, and the blade is thinner than the crossguard would be. This is honestly more progress than I was expecting to make tonight. I'm going to just flat out tell you all that. To a smoother transition there, instead of just scaling, you could extrude all that again, but inward. Right, that's what I was thinking, is that I could, instead of doing the scale, I could right-click extrude faces. Oops. That's not what I want. Hold on.
Hold on, that's not what you want.
Extrude faces, but like the fun thing though, wait a minute.
I think I'm gonna go figure out some food.
Alrighty. Extrude faces SX. And then when I pull in, it should... Well, the edges didn't come along for the ride. But the faces did. And the faces did extrude in. The edges just didn't follow suit. I have to keep faces together. Extrude faces along normals, extrude individual faces, extrude faces themselves. It's because there's extra vertices there from the repeated extruding attempts. Well, it may also just be my selection. Let's see if you can get rid of that. Weird. Wouldn't have expect. Well, okay. There's darker lines here and here. So still, yeah, I'm supposed to still in scale tool, which I can just shift. But like, yeah, I can see like a darker line at that selection point. Also interesting. Oh, because, okay. It's counting that and over as a rectangle, and then it's counting that and over as a rectangle, and it's counting the original rectangle as a rectangle. Ah. Interesting. Somewhere there's extra. Just select overlapping vertices like this to go into vertex selection mode. Mesh menu. Vertex selection. That's... Yeah, because basically, like right now what I'm thinking is that the orange pieces are being regarded as one rectangle, the opposite is being expected, and then all four in the center are another object, another cube, effectively. So there's basically like 3 cubes all lumped together in the middle here. So, thought there was a merge in here, but maybe not. There's dissolve vertices and delete vertices. Merging extra vertices should get rid of extra faces. Easy way to test, go into face, select, left click on a face, and then G to move it around. If there's extra, you'll see the faces left underneath. Face select mode, wait. Yeah, face select, G to move it around. Oh yeah. Yep, you can see something left behind. That's a nifty little trick. also kind of fun to play around with. I see what happened. I'll probably gain an eye for it over time, if I am not already gaining an eye for it and just don't know the terminology. Because that's actually a thing with me. I am horrible with terminology, but like concept still works in my brain. The faces on either side that you extruded are on the other side. In effect, I might have extruded the wrong direction, kind of. Oh, look at that. My God, I am learning. So, I wonder if I can go back far enough to fix that. I can. So I've got these extruders. Extrude faces. SY. So like apparently what would have likely happened before was I kind of went like this and they extruded that way when I should have been extruding this way. I have no idea how far I did before, so fuck it, we're doing it live. Here's Sting. And now I don't see dark lines. Nifty. You can move a face again to see if you'd like. Hey, smooth as butter. Smooth as butter. Save that shit. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is one of those moments where streamer save your game is actually a really good redeem. All right, now let's see what happens when I do something crazy. Try to grab the faces of the blade again. Do I want to grab the bottom as well? Or is that going to complicate matters? Like so. And then we extrude SX. Well, before I do that, I should get into a position where I can actually see what I'm doing. The one thing is that I need to find a quicker way to pan. Rotate's good. I need to find quicker pan. But, get there eventually. Extrude faces, SX. Aha. Shift middle mouse, good to know. So if I extrude like so, I think that's a bit much. Get to about, trying to doing it this way, make my faces of the blade start so it's smoother. Right. So if I click like so, and I take a look, I'd say that looks pretty dang good. I'd say that looks pretty respectable. That seems a sane size for a blade. What's the bottom look like? Good question. I'd say it looks pretty sexy. Don't know about you, but we're looking good. Again, farther than I ever expected to get tonight. Save. Here's something else. Here's another tip. Grab that bottom face. On its own. I mean, I probably should have confirmed before you said that. Okay. 'tis selected. Now you can extrude that again to make a point. Ooh. I'm gonna actually make a point. You just to scale that face small. So extrude faces, and like I just kind of extrude a little further out. Say about yay. And then scale that face down. Whoop. Be a good idea not to cross the 0 axis. Like that. Well, that's kind of neat. Honestly, if I can, hold on. Scale and zing, has a point. Nifty. And the closer I get without breaching 0, the finer the point will look. Smexy. And look at me go. Gotta leave a face on the end for now. I mean, yeah. Just also want to make sure that like I'm not like overlapping and then causing an interesting like, yeah, this. You don't want to invert the number, basically. Oh wow, that can get small. Damn. Let's make it better later. This is a rough shape state, right? But also, like, I feel like this is good for all practical purposes. I don't think anybody's gonna be like sitting there in VR chat being like, I can tell there's a square on the tip of the sword. Because Jesus Christ, if they can, go to the Guinness Book. You've got fucking world record eyesight there. That is really cool. So then, like, the other thing would be if I wanted to make... Actually, wait. Hold on, let me cook. I might be learning. When scaling, holding shift will give you finer control in those small areas. Good to know. Ah, actually. Well, kind of. That kind of works, but I would probably expect there to be a middle piece. I know what you're looking for. Yeah, I figured you probably figured out what I was trying to get there too. Actually, wait. This feels like a moment where I need, yeah, more loops. Yeah. Getting to this situation, I need, I think, 2 more loops. Further. Where's my cut selection showing up? There we go. 1 should work down the middle. Potentially. Yeah, up and down like that, yeah. The face is on the side of the blade smaller. Yeah, and then it'll keep the width in the center and then taper the edges down to what would be the sword blade. Right. The reason I said 2 was because a lot of times swords will have a channel in the middle, so it's actually like more like a rectangle in and of its own right. Scroll up and down on your mouse wheel while in loop cut mode. It'll give you more evenly spaced loop cuts. You can add that later. True. Scroll up and down on your mouse wheel while in loop cut mode. Huh. I'm not sure. Rough shapes first. This is true. Interesting that it's going to add that loop to the entire. Well, I mean, it's not shocking, but it's. Well, I can also just shift however I want to with that while holding it down. You have to edge loop the whole thing, right? Yeah. I suppose that would make logical sense, wouldn't it? So if I just do as such, interesting. Okay, the edge loop looks a little odd sometimes. That might be, oh right, because it's climbing an outside piece. Look at me, my brain is braining. So then I need to select face mode. In theory, see if it works that way, but let's I'll see. Oh, look at me. Do both at the same time. That's pretty freaking good. Don't worry too much about getting it small right now. That's what bevels are for. There. But I mean, yeah. All intents and purposes, we now have a sword with a blade and a rather kludgy but still serviceable handle. And quite honestly, it seems like the sort of thing where I'd want to either scale or otherwise manipulate this down to a simpler thing. And I may have extruded the crossguards out like possibly the same way you did the blade. Possibly. You can grab the faces, the sides, and push them in. Grab the faces on the sides. Actually. Extrude these faces. This X. I always do that before actually like getting in a position to see what I'm doing. I get ahead of myself. Don't mind me. Extrude faces. This X. And then can I also? Probably can't do this at the same time. I stand corrected. And to do that, you need the faces at the bottom selected. Grab the faces inside, push them in and scale. And to do that, you need the faces at the bottom selected. Or the top. Extrude face SX. What is going on? Go in, right? Because you want that to be where the person... Yeah, it'd be the handle of the sword, yes. Extrude SX. Okay, program, work with me. We appear to have extra vertices again. How did that happen? Yeah. Extrude, then try again a few times. Don't undo the extrude. Well, I'm hitting escape. I would think escape would be cancel what you're doing. I could very well be wrong. Wow, that's fun. Rules use your friend. Cancels the movement because extrude also has a movement. Oh boy. Okay, well that's a good lesson to learn. What's the next undo? It doesn't tell me. Undo history. Oh, extrude region and move. Undo history. I think that might be where I can go back to. Good lesson learned. Escape is not a full cancel. Oh, I wish it were. Oh, camera. Whoa, devil. As long as you haven't done a lot of work, the merging vertices would fix this situation if needed. You cannot escape. There is no escape. Extrude SX. There we go. And then I'd want to extrude a second time SY. You can't do both in one move. No second time? Really? Just scale what you have selected. Huh. The faces should be there. Finish placing this axis, then just scale again. Like this. Oh, that's beautiful. That's wonderful. Progress. So there's, well, I mean, yeah, I see a way to do what I'm thinking to do. Okay. Because you know there is one other piece to the anatomy of a sword that is presently missing from the handle. But it's not always there. Yeah, the pommel. Yeah, if you want the pommel, just extrude from the top base. Yep. That requires double extrude. Yeah, because then I'd have to extrude it up to make the original lump and then extrude it out a little bit to make the expansion. Which, Kind of depends on what sort of shape I want to go for. Out first, then up. I can see it. Control S. Y'all have already been invaluable help so far. Thank you very much. You can always add edge loops for detail later. Right. So then, for the sake of giggles... Extrude. SX. Is it possible to extrude along multiple vertices? Blech. Ah, grab the faces and scale. Right. Right, that bit. Scale. So then I can scale along this vertex. Something looks wonky. Hold on. Maybe I'm just seeing things. This may just be... Yeah... What's next in the undo history? Be a select. So... Wish I knew which way is the right way. Do they look different? You mentioned earlier as being aware of it because you're using the tools to click. It's easy to cross over because your mouse starts so close to the area. Use the S shortcut that lets you put your mouse further away. You get the control and less chance of flipping. Use the S shortcut. I may not be understanding what's being stated there. Is it just... Flipping happens when cursor crosses the middle of what you're scaling. Right. I don't think this is what I want it to do either. Yeah, that's not extruded. That's what happened when I did SX without extrude. So if you use the S shortcut to scale instead of clicking the button, you can put your mouse further away to minimize chances. Edit. Yeah, if there's... Wait. Duh. I can also maybe just hit E. Yeah. Huh. Well, that does something weird. Well, I'm finding weird ways to do things, but extrude but don't move anything, then go to scale. Yeah. Hold on. Start this over. Make sure that my undo history... Is there a way to, like... Okay. So. ESX. Then I extrude. Probably about yay. Then scale, pull, about yay. Then I don't know what just happened there. Oh, I hit the wrong button. And I have selected all. Not the end of the world, I don't think. Yeah, I hit A. I severely misclicked that. Because really what I wanted was to get... Yeah, selecting is undoable. Oh, nifty. Okay. Z. This should still be good. Then E S Z. Right? Apparently not. That's not doing anything. What's going on? E. SY? No. Hang on. You can extrude and not move it, and it will still be extruded. So just E click, move. Real sexy. Real sexy times. Look at that. £20 for the king, indeed. Yeah, just a smidge more for the pommel. Yeah, there you go. As for the cross guard, I think there's something I can do for that yet. Does anything look particularly like liney? Slightly concerned, but I suppose in order to check that, I can look at my fancy square. Does fancy things like bounce around. Give me some extra vertices under the pommel, but nothing you can see anywhere else looks bad. Well, that seems to be behaving as expected. Looks good. G. Yeah, that's working as expected there too. Not getting any weird, like, sticky bits, prickly bits. Bongo cat, indeed. You know, I really should look into getting more. Actually, they did recently expand GIF emotes for all members of Twitch, for all streamers on Twitch. I should get a Bongo Cat Kale. I should try and find somebody that'd be willing to do that. I should actually come up with a list of more GIF emote stuff. Standard affiliates get standard affiliates get animated emotes. As a matter of fact, for example, this is one of mine. Yep. We originally, I think, got 3, so now I should have room for 6. Should double check that actually. Give me just a second. Citation needed. Under. Oh shit. Did it once a million years ago. They only had static ones then. Yeah, fair. Totally understandable. Let's see. It would be under. Is it under community? No. Waku 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 waku. It's under. God. Viewer rewards? Emotes. There it is. There it is. New window. Show me the info. The info states that I presently have 4 open slots for animated emotes. Huh. Neat. Unlock 2 additional animated emote slots by using Twitch alerts. Oh, right. That whole chestnut. Kind of glad that I'm revisiting this because there's actually a couple of emotes for tier 2 and tier 3 that most people can't use. Jal! DO Chaos. There's also a bits emote for 5k, but I'm not gonna force people to get that for obvious reasons. Though there's a couple of folks that might be getting close to getting that actually in my audience. But yeah, I have 4 slots for animated emotes. I should ply people for what they want to see for animated emotes for my channel. Bongo Cat seems like a good one. Maybe a Kale Jam? Maybe. Unfortunately, technically, I can't get Sussy because they'll probably get rid of it for being too lascivious for Twitch. Yeah, we can get 800 slots, so I know what I'm getting next month. Yes. Yeah, they'll clap. They'll clap them cheeks harder than anybody else would. Exactly. Which is ironic considering the subject matter. Anywho, yeah, I apparently have 7 animated emote slots, and I have 4 left over to fill. Need a Kek W? That's not an animated slot though. It could take the place of an existing tier 1 emote. It can be, that's true. It can do like the shake up and down. This is true. It's an idea. Actually, you know what? I should record these ideas down. Yeah, we'll put it here for now. Animated emote ideas. Bongo Kale. Kek W Kale. What else was there on there? I joked about Sussy, probably won't be able to do that. Kale Jam. Not really sure how we'd go about with that one, but it's an idea. Any hoozles. Back to practice. Save. So I've got the basic idea down, which is cool. As for this cross guard, I think it may actually be a little wide for the blade in question. Maybe. Seems a little exuberant, shall we say. So if I should just actually be able to move you inward. Though, seems this might do it, actually. Nope. There's not a move that I want in that instance, then. It would be a scale that I would want in that instance in this directionality. Aha. Exactly. That, I think, looks closer to... I think that looks closer to what you'd expect for a sword this size. I think that's good dimensionality alongside the blade and the handle. Feel free to run rampant because I have a cat on my lap makes typing out fair. Maybe a skosh inwards. Oh, yay. Then, if I... Is this doing what I want it to? It is doing what I want it to do. It do be doing the thing that I want. Look at me, I'm learning. Suddenly I feel as if I'm making Smitty. You know, hold on, this is global. Smutty? No, Smitty. My affectionate term for Smithy from Super Mario RPG. It's Smitty! Okay, I have to admit, this is actually really fun and really zen, and I know that 3D artists everywhere are laughing at what I just said. Because they're just like, oh, he'll learn. Oh, he'll learn. Where the fuck is that vertex? I really like the looks of this. I get so focused, so I get it. Fair. This is really, like, even the basic shape is just honestly mind-blowingly pretty to me right now. I almost feel like this doesn't need a lot of work to fix up. Baby's first sword, indeed. And like, there was a part of me that was sitting there thinking, like, is a sword too complex of a first thing to try for? The other thing to remember to balance, the gutter on the sword could be texture based too. True. That is very true. And that would also cut down on polys, which would make the sword more efficient on render if you just let the texture do the heavy lifting for it. Less polys is better. Come to think of it, so we're to look at the statistics on that. That'd be kind of cool. Relations. Oh yeah, give me just a second so I can do I'm gonna vanish for a moment. Doot. So I can show what's behind me. When they asked Miyamoto if they could have extra polys for the sword gutter, he had them killed. Oh god. Please, sir, may I have a cup of polys? No. All right. right, so like, yeah, the stuff that's behind it is a whole bunch of like properties menu stuff. Oh, hey, render properties. Eevee. Oh, that's cute. Render 64, viewport 16. Ambient occlusion, bloom, depth field. I mean, there's definitely a lot of extra art stuff in here that I am not immured in, other than knowing how some of it functions as far as like how the human eye perceives it. Step 1, modeling first. I mean, sure. I'm not going to get too far into the weeds, but like in the original spot where this was, mind you, this is what was behind the camera. It's just like a whole bunch of drop down menus. Yeah. Custom properties. I think people use Blender for like photo editing and composition. Yeah, Blender apparently can do too much. Holy crap. Custom properties. Line art. Usage inherit. Viewport display. Name, axes, wireframe. I didn't see anything change. Probably because there's not much difference. Animate property. All edges, texture space, shadow in front. Make the object display in front of others. Interesting. Object casts shadows in the 3D viewport. I've kind of noticed as I've been going. Displays the object's texture space. Ooh, okay. That's nifty. All edges. Oops, all edges. Want to see proper wireframe? It's the button above the XYZ. Looks like 2 overlapping squares. This? No. No. This. Toggle X-ray. Aha. Okay. 50. Now you're good. This is why I'm glad I waited for tooltips to show up, because it's like, that does not sound right. That's cool. That is effectively showing me the vertices of every element and such. It kind of makes it slightly see-through. This is reflecting the back of something sometimes, or if you draw a box selection, you might select only the front when you wanted both. So wireframes for that kind of thing, yeah. So instead of me having to go, back and forth to select a bunch of faces and vertices, this helps to kind of streamline that process, provided I aim properly. But the Neum is more fun. I mean, it's fair, very fair. To quote the inimitable Rolf, life has many doors, Ed boy. You click and drag to select on both sides. Well, let me check. It would appear so. Definitely has some interesting effects on selecting. Yeah, that let me select the entire part of that. Yeah, it let me select the entire crossguard piece. Because ordinarily it probably would have only let me select what, the top and front, based on my present viewpoint. Well, actually, hold on, let me test it. Because yeah, then I wouldn't be able to select the bottom and back. Yep, so yeah, that's what that wireframe does. Neat. I'm learning. texture space can go off. All edges can go off. Huh. Elias selects it all the time. Interesting. I'm not sure which I would prefer, ultimately. So I feel like both have their merits, certainly. Maya would certainly... Please stop selecting stuff you don't want to select. That's a question. I feel like you'd have to select piecemeal then and select to additively, or shift to additively select. One would think. Like, I feel like there's merits for both approaches ultimately. It's interesting stuff. Visibility. Show in selectables, viewports, renders, mask holdout. Motion paths. Path type in range. Seen from range. That's probably for animation stuff. Instancing. Instancing. I wonder. Is there a search? Yes. I'm just curious what this is about. This is to make linked copies of an object in a similar way to what you would have seen in an array. Nifty. Collections. Come to think of it, that might have something to do with a different project I was hoping to work on at one point. Though I feel a little averse. I don't necessarily want to say scummy, but kind of scummy about potentially, you know, cracking open my paid for 3D VR chat avatar and fiddling with it. Because like the artists that I paid to do it did a great job. There's just a small couple of things that like I didn't catch until later, and I feel bad to pester them about it. One of the things is that like when I should bring my camera back, that would help exemplify things. You with the face, come back. Okay, I'm back and terrifying people nationwide. But yeah, like one of the things that I noticed with the 3D model that I have for VR chat right now is if I reach forward in VR chat, my basically like this whole area kind of clips through the shirt. So the shirt just needs to be like more puffed out. It needs to be more pulled out so like my body isn't clipping through it. And then for one of the additions, basic idea being that Kale is a multi-form. He can change between angel and demon kind of aspects, and he looks different. Either that or the rigging weights. Possibly. It's something of those natures. That's a whole nother beast, right? But yeah, for demon mode, the idea was that the wings would be invisible, but would cast shadows. So if a world had decent enough shadow rendering in VRC, people could see, oh, this form has like shadow wings, but not real wings, like not physical wings. And then, unfortunately, what the artist did was they linked the arm ring and the wings together. So if I make the wings invisible, the arm ring is also invisible. And I need to find a way to make that not happen. Somebody at one point mentioned to me that it should be possible to do in Unity, but I don't know for certain. Because every time I try to do something with it in Unity, it doesn't seem to change anything. And speaking of a whole nother beast, Unity. I know enough about that to have friggin' headaches. I wonder if flipping the normals would give the wings volume to cast shadows without seeing them. Flipping the normals. Obligatory fuck Unity. Yeah, exactly. Basically turning them inside out. Right, because then it would be backface calling. But would it still cast shadows? Also, what would that do with the arm ring? Because the arm ring would also flip its normals then, because they're connected. Like, the big thing is I would wager that, like, if I could find a way to separate the ring from the wings, that would solve my issue. But I think that kind of requires me to do that in Blender, not in Unity. I don't know much about VR models. They can be different materials like textures, or they could be different mesh pieces. So, like, yeah, you know, actually, hold on. Yeah, hold on. I can actually just legitimately show you how it shows up in Unity. What was that? What was that new program they had me put together? Creator Companion. There we go. I don't think there's anything wrong with me just showing the project. There's nothing like, you know, NSFW about it or anything. Unless you think of like an Anthro Fox without a shirt on being NSFW. But even then, I think the model defaults to everything on. Gotta hide the big naturals. Like, I'm actually kind of proud of myself being able to figure out with a little bit of like tutorial assistance how to make a whole bunch of things work in like a much smoother way than I originally had them put together. Okay, so it's doing the thing where it's loading up. It's taking a little bit because it's Unity. As long as I like close the VR chat SDK. Only MetaHuman, thank you for joining in. Gonna hop off. Absolutely. I'll definitely keep it in mind and start like thinking of other things that I can build, and I'll probably be doing art more than once, at the very least. I will say typically I am a gamer, so you'll be watching me. If you come in at other times, you'll be seeing me playing a bunch of like role-playing games, sometimes multiplayer, like cooperative stuff. But thank you for joining me for the evening. I certainly hope you enjoyed your time, and welcome to Daemonum, Denizen. As for what I was going to show off, get over to this. We change the artistry from the actually before I do that, Control S, thank you. Then we change this from that to Unity. So the only thing that I have is one object here. It's called Demon Variations. And yeah, when you activate it, it's the wings and the armband. So like it has a skinned mesh renderer, and it has the material. And at this point, I actually forgot how I originally made it invisible, but basic idea being, you know, if I render it transparent, then yeah. So we have to break down what's in that group. I don't know, because all I have is this thing. It doesn't have a drop. It doesn't have like a dig in or a drill down. Unlike armature that has, you know, hips, legs, spine, tail, so on and so forth. All I have is just this object. So it seems to me like if I wanted to differentiate these two, I would have to load the model in Blender and forcibly break the two apart. Unfortunately, yeah. I didn't really learn how to do that, and I didn't feel like messing with it too hard, because again, this is something that I got, you know, commissioned for me, and I don't want to screw it up. That said, I haven't really mustered up the courage to just message the artist and be like, hey, I know you did this for me a while back. Would you be willing to, you know, possibly work with me on a small correction? I can, you know, negotiate, so on and so forth. Like, I don't want to necessarily demand to be done for free, especially this far after it's been done. Modify the elements of any Pro Builder mesh to change its shape. To move or extrude faces, edges, or vertices, you're distorting or deforming the mesh itself. Other than basic transformations, Pro Builder also provides tools to fill holes, split vertices, collapse edges, and many more actions. To edit objects and elements. Tool impacts, you just need to select. Let's click the gear indicator that appears at the top right of the button. Icon mode. Editing meshes. Actually, I mean, the other question is, I forgot how I made this invisible in the first place. Because it's been a while since I actually did it, because I just kind of gave up and said, you know, I need the armband to be visible, so the wings had to be visible too. That didn't do anything. Seems like... Yeah, render would be fade. Skinned mesh render, cast shadows on. Yeah, I'm not really sure what this Unity tutorial is, or what this Unity documentation is telling me either. Pro Builders tools. Like, I don't even know what they're talking about. Because also, like, you know, changing things like scale, rotation, and position do jack shit. This just, yeah, the transforms do nothing. But yeah, that's the basic, like, I mean, this is also not really related to the sword that I'm working on anyway, so, you know, 6 of one, half dozen the other. Oh, Don't save any of the changes I made because I didn't make anything of value. And then we switch back to Blender. And we be all fancy. And we also have a hydrate. Thanks for the hydrate, Black Queen. But yeah, welcome to Unity and VR chat models. That said, basic idea would be, you know, how goes it? It goes. As a matter of fact, you can see what I've got right now going is actually, in fact, quite swordly. Not bad for starting with, you know, a giant lump. Indeed. Depending on the situation, this might actually be like really, I mean, I'd have to still like texture it and whatnot, but I could add this to Kale's model and it could be a toggleable sword in hand. Start making my VR chat model an absolute freaking menace. Right? But honestly, I'm proud with the amount of work I got done here too, with a judicial amount of help from Cody. Thank you very much. Or Dragon, sorry. Thank you very much for your help. I very much appreciate it. And now, you know, you've helped me kind of learn basics of what I want to aim for and what I need to look for and things like that. So I very much appreciate the crash course. God, that is so cool to look at too. I'm just happy to know that, you know, it goes to show you, like, try things. And if you have friends that know how to do it, like, yeah, ask questions. The worst that happens is your friend says, I don't know. The best that happens is they start going on Google searches for you and wind up helping you a lot. That's some basic tool knowledge now. There is something to be said about, like, I feel like the next thing to tackle would be making the handle smoother, actually doing something with the pommel, maybe applying an angle or like a curve to the handguard. Not a curve down, it could be a curve up in this case. So like basically, oh, actually, come to think of it, hold up. Could I not just ta-ta? I mean, sure, if I wanted it to be more smooth and curve-like, that's one thing. That said, that's not bad. I kind of like that. You should be able to achieve all that with extruding edge loops, etc. Come to think of it. Give that a little more spice on the edge. There. I think that looks good. Saved. You know, I started with a sword from Legend of Zelda, and now, honestly, I could see this being a render for something in like an older Baldur's Gate game. Like, I feel like I went from NES era to like mid PS1, which I think that's a pretty respectable jump. Textures can do some serious carrying, but more and more polygons can be supported too. True. So like if I say did ESZ. I'm still kind of curious about this bit, because like V5 can do what, 20k polys on a model? Wow. Jesus. I'm still kind of curious about like why extrude across Z isn't working, or doesn't appear to be working. Either case, we have the extrusion now. So if I move this up a skosh. Actually, no, I need that to go differently. Also, that helped me visualize something. Wireframe just helped me there. Oh dear. Okay. 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 By Jove, I think I've got it. Interesting. ESX. We want to be about yay. Then we scale this yay. Then we move this yay. Ooh. Oh, you know, actually. Hold up. Gears are turning. You might be smelling smoke. Come to think of it, if I No, actually, I do want to move it. What I was doing before is correct. Yeah. So I want that to look yeah, I basically want it to kind of have a taper. That said, if I could like take these corners and pull them in, I should be able to. Bevels are also your friend. See, yeah, I was also wondering if I shouldn't be attempting beveling. Ooh. What does this tab do? Oh. Makes things look more real. Fair. Hold on. Undo that. Let's change my angle of attack here and see what this looks like when I have better eyes on the situation. So I pull up on the tab and, well, beveling too much starts making things look weird for obvious reasons. If I bevel, what is it effectively doing here? This might actually be one of those moments where I want to turn this off so I can see it a bit more solidly. Cut into selected items at an angle to create a bevel or chamfer. You can also manually bevel via edge loops and selecting them and moving them. Kind of like what we were doing before. Or extrudes. I mean, yeah, because effectively, like, the sword point was a bevel. Kind of. Ooh. I actually kind of like that. It looks kind of smexy. So what if instead... Now here's where things might get a little... Mixing tries and quads is not a great idea, though. Yeah, and come to think of it, that makes a try there, and a try there, and a try there, and there, and there, and there. Those aren't quads. Am I right in that summation that, like, effectively this has made 6 tries now, where originally I had nothing but quads? So that's a bit of a pitfall in this case with beveling. In my eye, I bevel manually for that reason. Fair. And it is time for me to take my medication. So I do. So I do. Come to think of it, what would happen? I could make an edge loop there. So then, curiosity gets the better of me and I ask, what happens? Oh. Oh ho ho ho. Well, scaling along the Z doesn't seem to do anything. Interesting. Good to know. Still undo it just in case something fucky happens. Nothing if not a careful doofus. Ooh, moving it has some interesting effects too. Aha. That might actually be useful for future stuff. And edge loops like the edge loop scalar move, like I just did. And now I'm just feeling special. It's like I'm coming up with ideas. The interesting question would be, what the heck do I do there? Like, do I slice this? Then move it down. Then scale. I don't think this is gonna, yeah, no, it's gonna pinch that in. So then I think what I would actually need to do for the scale tool, if you click on the circle instead, what happens? Circle would be, I think, omnidirectional. What? I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Also makes things like really nuts. Hold on. It's all a matter of perspective, really. Looking for scaling everything at once rather than one axis at a time. I mean, I think that's what the circle is supposed to do. Oh God, my brain. Stop that. You stop that. But I think what might be happening is it's noticing that I think it's noticing that I'm moving on a particular axis and then just kind of deciding, oh, that's when you want to shift. Because that says along the Y. That's aha, hello. That's doing multi. That's doing multi-axis scaling. There you go. Now we're cooking with petrol. So then in theory, that should be along Y and Z. But again, like Z scaling doesn't seem to really do anything visible. And I'm not sure why. Because it seems like logically it should scale something. And then if I hit the green panel, it's going to be red and it's going to be X and Z. Well, I guess the question is, what would Z scaling be? What would Z scaling be but motion? I guess. Or, you know, sizing up. Huh. Dude. This is what happens when you collapse a texture. Yeah. Okay, Okay, so what I really want actually is I don't want the present loop that I have selected. I want the other loop. I'm just going to put now though. Yeah, fair. What I actually want is to select the loop under this. I wish there was an easy way to select an entire loop. Well, wait a minute. Double click it? Maybe. This is edge select. Vertex? No. Nah, unfortunately. Wait a minute. Hold up. You with the face, come here. Select loops, edge loops. Yes? No. In theory, I think I have everything I need there. And then if I scale that in, hey, look at me go. You know, there's probably a way. Select an edge, and select the next one, and double click it, grabs the entire loop. Ah. I might have to look into that, actually. Need the blue plane. There's the blue plane. Shazam. Look at me being nifty. Smooth. Hold up. What you mean when you say smooth? Smooth, like your brain. That's an odd looking duck. Oh, it's pulling the corners in, but not the mid face. Although it does shift the mid vertices a little bit. Interesting. Huh. Suppose that's, you know, how you get more of a curvature to a thing. Huh. Nifty. In theory, then, I subdivide to what I want to subdivide, though? I'm not sure. Hang on. I want to try a thing. You said you select an edge and select the next one. So if I, for instance, select that edge, this edge, nah, doesn't seem to work that way. But what if I stop selecting edges? Oh my god, this is where wireframe gets in the way. What if I select you and you. And then I say select edge loops. Hey, look at that. Okay. That helps me understand a bit better. That helps me understand it a fair bit better. Huh, nifty. Okay, so I figured that trick out. And we've got the pommel, like, at least a bit more smooth. Then, what if I also say, hey buddy, give me this and this, and select that edge loop too. Hey, it gives me both. Then I say smooth it. We make a smoothie. Oh, look at that. That is tasty. That is a tasty, tasty pommel. Admittedly, it's a bit flush to the sword handle at the moment, but that's because the sword handle hasn't properly been dealt with. So if I, in turn, say, hey buddy, you remember that thing I told you? Remember that thing I sent you? You have this and this. And we go ahead and say, this is where things get a little dicey, methinks. Is it this and this? Hope it is. Select loops. Brother, give me the loops. And then we smooth it. Oh, Alice just jumped into the rabbit hole. Yup. Oh boy. What the goodness gracious. Hold up. This appears to be smoothing along the wrong axis. I want it to smooth. Huh. Interesting. Huh. I mean, that kind of works, but not the way I was expecting it to. Not the way I was expecting it to. Hold on. What if... this feels ill-advised, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. If I do this, what if D's nuts? Indeed. Part of a balanced breakfast. Wait, what? So I have the four corners. I mean, we're doing this. Why not gild the lily? Select all of it. What happens? What happen if smooth? Really, pulling this way is all fine and dandy, but like, don't you dare gild my lily. It's my lily. Nasty. I think my example's getting skewed by the fact that I still have the loop selected. Science, why no progress? I mean, yeah. Look, if I had access to the Horu no Mi, I would be a menace to conservative society. Just saying. I didn't perform any surgeries. Shing. By every medical definition, I did not perform a surgery. I performed a special technique. It'd be nothing like that. I'd be going out of my way to help people with it. I would not expect any recompense for it. And there's the pronoun elements. Yeah. There's still that wonderful thing. You know, I wonder, well, I mean, there's other systems of anime magic that can handle the pronouns situation. Yami no Ekriture comes to mind, for example. Huh. Smooth, like my brain. I don't think smooth is gonna... stream elements. Yeah. Huh. I don't think smooth's gonna do what I want in this case. So how do I get this to be more round? That might be where I pick up later. My face and everything beneath it hurts. Yes. Still, Jesus, the sheer amount of progress I made on this is just ungodly compared to where I was going to go. You can grab the 4 corner vertices and scale them in. Corner vertices or corner edges? Vertices, okay. Making sure. So for instance, I could grab that. This. Oops. Hope if I additive selected. It should be that. And then scale in. Huh. That makes things more round? Try the other axis. Right rope. I feel like having more vertices then would be beneficial to make that less blocky looking. But that brings up a different kettle of fish. Some more edge loops specifically on the first axis you tried. Some more. There are more loops on the y-axis. which would mean more subdividing like that. Or like that. So this would be on the Z. Oh. Why is this being difficult with me? Then like this? See how one side has 3 vertices and the other has 2. Right. Right. So if I cut across this, and then, ironically, don't count those, and instead select boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. Wait. And we scale across this. It keeps the outside wide. Juniper would win. Everybody can kick my ass. And I do mean everybody. Interesting. So now I could beg to differ. This is where things get interesting and slightly dicey. So I think it's this. That. This. Gotta make sure I'm picking the right things. Basically making actually in this case it'd be an octagon. Originally it was a hexagon. But now that I've subdivided on both sides, it's turned into 8-sided figure. Smaller than me. I am still a fucking wimp. I believe you are the last vertex I need to choose. And then if I scale along this. No, other way. Very wrong. Bingo. Yahtzee. Our survey says God. Smite me, almighty smiter. Now, I'm not much for blaspheming, but that last one made me chuckle. Oops. What did I just do? Hopefully nothing permanent. Come to think of it, should I not try to be uniform with this? I feel like I should try to be uniform with this. And if I'm trying to be uniform with it, then I need to select all 8 vertices. Am I making sense? The words coming out of my mouth. That's not gonna help me any. This will though. I worry you'll scale on a 3D sense instead of 2D if you do both. Possibly. We'll find out. Good Lord created Control Z for a reason. If only undo could happen IRL, right? And mute. Mute would be very helpful. It really would be. You with the face, come here. Come here. And then we scale, yeah? Ooh. Look at that. Certainly leaves it a little wide. Duct tape? Duct tape would work. Most of the time. Although there is the whole battery thing. You know. I was sick last week. I lost your voice. The jokes about her husband, my uncle, is a piece of quiet. Yeah. Gotta love the ever present I hate my wife trope. Well, not hate my wife, but my wife never shuts up trope. Nah, there's levels. Having a moment is one thing, but like there are folks that take that joke way too far. Not everybody though. I've been spending a little too much time with the Always Online, and they tend to find the really egregious examples of it. Because they're trawling Reddit's, like, you know, worst of the worst human beings things. Let's give him 3 filet mignon. Still love beef. Specifically my aunt. She was busy at the moment. Had to go hand it to my uncle. He stops. Doesn't give my wife the meat. I had to stop and stare at him like, hold on. Wait a minute. All right. Well, I mean, look at that. Folks, we have a functional sword. Like, a really functional sword. Didn't say slip my wife to me. It's fair. Very fair. That is beautiful. Beautiful. You know, a thought occurs to me. What if I... Hold up. I'm gonna try one last little experiment before I leave. Why is this not panning? Oh dear. What have I broken now? There we go. We'll say this makes selecting a face fun. Ah, yes, just what I wanted. Head full of big face. That's not the face I want. It's kind of the point where I can't even select the face I want to select. Because I can just no longer see that face. It's that far away. That's amazing. Hello. This help? It may have. No. That's not quite what I wanted either. Goes to show you though. Like, holy heck. Aha. That's why. Ah. Oh, computer. Selection time. I select all 4 of those, and I move them all simultaneously. In theory. Ah, that's part of the reason why I want to move it across the Z. And it makes the sword tip pointier. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Ta-da! Getting sleepy. Yeah, I am admittedly going a little over time at this point, so I should be wrapping up soon here. But hey, that was actually the last little thing I wanted to fiddle with for now. So I'm going to use that as our opportunity to come back here. Well, I had to admit, if your tip is pointy, indeed, I have to admit this went a lot better than I was expecting it to, and I honestly have y'all to thank for that. So thank you. Thank you for the help. And of course, thank you for joining me on the adventure for the evening. I certainly hope you've enjoyed your time. And as always, if you have, don't forget to follow along and spread the word. I learned a lot in 3 hours. Yeah, I did learn a lot in 3 hours. A lot more than I was expecting to. And again, I have chat to thank for that. But yes, if you've liked what you've seen, of course, don't forget to follow along and spread the word. I always hope to grow the community, and I certainly hope that it's been fun to watch somebody try with watch somebody try something with the intent to fail, and the intent to accept failure. And, well, in the interim, actually wind up succeeding a fair bit. I am on Twitch. I save my VODs up to YouTube for safekeeping. I have a Discord channel, and I am on several social media sites. Links to all of those are in the bio under my stream, as well as this wonderfully dense socials command, which nets you everything, everywhere, all at once. And finally, to those who chat, I appreciate you. To those who lurk, I appreciate you. And to those who watch the VODs, I appreciate you. And I certainly hope that I can see you here live someday should the opportunity ever arise. And with that, let's find our raid target for the evening and make sure we get this love moving forward. Because, well, I have done a fair bit tonight. Oh, right. I had to do some fiddling with the size of this window so I can actually see what all is online. There's got a fair few folks running at the moment. And yeah, I might do more art streams here and there. Certainly not at the level where I could do commissions, but then again, depends on what people want, I suppose. Like, I don't think that model itself was all that bad. I think the next challenge is going to be texturing, which that's going to be a whole new world for me. So that'll be interesting to kludge my way through. In the meantime, let's see. What have we got? Dag's doing Illbleed again. Which, that's an interesting Dreamcast game. Ferret Magic is just chatting, year in review. I think people are going to be doing some talking for by and large because New Year's and all. Which, by the way, Happy New Year's, everybody. Let's see. Helix is doing Lethal Company, which is always fun to go and watch. Someone's doing Resi 3. Got Deep Rock Galactic, Rock and Stone. I need to get back into that with some friends. That is a fun game too. I think we are going to make our way to Lethal Company. That said, before I do that, I'm gonna check the Go Beyond team. Yeah, I don't see who I was planning on. All right. Yep, let's get this underway. All right. Oops. Here is our raid message for the evening. Folks, feel free to copy it up and paste it down as we make our way over to Keelix. Make sure everything is in order. And of course, if you don't have access to my emails, feel free to use whatever you've got access to. It's not about pasting my face all over it. It's about spreading the love moving forward. Well, doors are open. The portal is shining in the distance. And I'll say to you all once more, be you denizens, be you hunters, be you visitors, thank you all for joining me here once again in Daemonum Arena. Well, let's go greet another, shall we? Take care out there, and try to be a light in the darkness when you can be.